Hello, and welcome to MidSouth Matters on Germantown Municipal Television, and to our special election broadcast featuring candidates for the Germantown Board of Mayor and Aldermen. I'm your host, Ruth Dunning. My guest today is David Nischwitz, who is running for Germantown Alderman, position 5. David Nischwitz joined the Fogelman Management Group in 2012, and currently he is the Senior Vice President for Property Development for Fogelman. He graduated from Ohio State University with a degree in landscape architecture and earned his MBA degree from the University of Memphis. A licensed landscape architect, David is a member of the American Society of Landscape Architects, ULI, of Memphis, and is a former board member of the Apartment Association of Greater Memphis. David and his wife, Sherry, are the parents of 14-year-old twins, Aubrey and Gray, who attend Houston Middle School. And we are so happy to have you here today, David.
Thank you, Ruth. Love to be here.
Good.
Thank you.
And I hope it'll just whiz by the way it usually does for everybody.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So, first thing I want to ask you is what you think has happened in Germantown and with the Board of Aldermen in the last 4 years. What's wonderful about what's happened for us?
Sure. Well, you know, Germantown is a great city in relation to our safety and protection and our schools. And I think what's transpired in the last 4 years, particularly as we've gotten our own school district, has been a very, very key opportunity for our city to grow and continue to flourish as it's always been as a great city for public school and a public school education. And so for our city now to have those controls of our own district and those schools is a tremendous opportunity and responsibility. In addition, I've loved the fact that our city has continued to protect folks with our police force, our first responders, and made sure that those are the top tier people taking care of us every day, making sure that folks stay the speed limit on the roads, and also make sure that our homes are safe and our families are safe as we roam the streets on bicycles or scooters or whatever else the kids are doing these days on the streets of our communities. In addition, I've been very pleased with the bond rating, that we are a AAA bond rated city, one of only 100 in the country. And very
I didn't know that. Back up, say that again. We're one of only 100 in the country?
Yeah, with a AAA bond rating from Standard & Poor's and Moody's. That is a tremendous statement for the balance sheet and the protection of our finances that our leadership has provided. So continuing that bond rating, continuing that financial strength has been a very big positive.
Good. Now, the heart of what you're going to talk to us about is what you'd like to see happen in the next 4 or 5 years, your platform, so to speak.
Right. Ruth, with my background in landscape architecture, I believe that our parks need to be purpose-driven park improvements. We have very well-designed parks, but they're aged. And we need to ensure that we have a competitive advantage with our park system. And I think that also our athletics, we need premier athletics and premier programs within our public school. Now that there are schools, and we have the opportunity to do the things to them from a facility improvement standpoint and from just a quality overall experience standpoint, we have a real opportunity in the next few years. Quite frankly, I think that Collierville, not being landlocked, Collierville building a brand new high school, and Collierville having fairly new parks is driving families to make a decision about where to live that may or may not work in the benefit of our city of Germantown. So I want to protect the values of our real estate. I want to ensure that we have good quality programs for our students, but also for our community, which really surrounds those parks and those service areas that we've always tended to enjoy as Germantown residents. And I think my landscape architect background will help assist that, as well as my redevelopment skills in the job that I have now. Primarily what my job is, every day I drive to work thinking about how do I improve real estate tomorrow that's different than today. And if you think about where we are as a community, we are landlocked. So it's improving our existing real estate. It's improving our existing footprint. in making it better tomorrow than it is today. And I think those are the key differences. Those are the key qualities, experience level qualities that I have that I'd love to bring to the city.
Very good. Anything else? Any other long-range building or improvements or facilities that you'd like to see us build?
It's a great question. I don't know that there's any particular goal I have in mind other than I think that as we grow, whether it's retail, whether it's new development, being that I'm in the redevelopment and development area, I think this is one of those that I would also kind of question myself. Don't just grow for growth's sake. Don't just build for build's sake. Be smart. One of the catalysts of this city was always built on very high quality streetscape, low profile signage, very well landscaped medians, very well landscaped street areas, commercial space, and smart, intelligent design to the businesses that we build. I want to continue to protect that, but I also know that we need to have retail growth. We need to have a stimulated sales tax, things that can bring more revenue to our city. We need those things, we need those components, but we need to be balanced with that approach, because one of the reasons why people move here is that community feel and the well-landscaped feel that you have, and it just feels like when we grew up as kids with a very community-oriented, very engaged community with your neighbors and with your folks that you meet down at the street, whether it's the grocery store or at a coffee shop. We want to continue to have that feel in our city, but we understand growth is needed. I just want it to be very preservation-minded and stay with the principles of how we built the city in the first place.
The board of mayor and aldermen, along with the school board, have worked together for looking for a site for a new school.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on building a school, repurposing other buildings, etc.?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Okay.
First, I would say this, that the school board needs to drive the decision where as I understand it, the alderman and the mayor are the financial support, the financial arm to what the school board decides. And this school board election is just as critical as the alderman election that's coming up. There are 3 of the 5 seats in the school board that are available and open with opposition.
We've interviewed all of them. Yes.
It's a tremendous
Yes.
tremendous responsibility, and I would say that those leaders are key to the decision as to how we go about making the location wherever that location needs to be. So I want to first state that I believe it's a school board responsibility to really dive into the best location, and that's them going out and talking to the homeowners and the citizens of the city to find out where they would like this school. So that's first and foremost. Second, I would say that I would love the opportunity to get the 3 Gs, at least 2 of the 3 Gs. I think that that's a fight that we need to continue to fight. That South Germantown area is key to us in terms of a growth for an elementary school. And I'll finally say the Winchester location, which has been the one that's most hot on the press, is a very poor location in my opinion for a lot of reasons. Being in real estate that I've been for 20 years, Winchester Road is a very commercial-based street. There's nothing community about that Winchester location. I've been down there 4 or 5 times. I've driven the area. We have property. Fogelman Properties has communities down along Hacks Cross. I know that's not in Germantown, but it's within 2 miles of this designated elementary school location. Crime in that location is some of the highest crime we have in our 76 properties in the southeast United States.
Oh, really?
That location on Hacks Cross. So what I would just continue to suggest here is we have a long-term decision to make. This is not a short-term decision. It's a long-term decision, and it needs to be vetted. It needs to be methodically planned out. And when we set the date, when we set the location, we want to have a community that's behind it 100%.
What would you suggest that we do with the 30 acres on Winchester that is now under discussion for a school?
You know, that's a great question. I really look at that as, like I said before, it has a commercial feel to it now. There are offices in that location right now. There's also a FedEx delivery headquarters location there. I would love to see that become a really nice office park. Love to see a large company come in and want to buy that as part of their, whether it's a satellite facility, whether it's their main headquarters facility. But that looks to me like a great opportunity for commercial space. The other idea would be potentially for very nice high-end baseball fields that we could create a tournament, a sports venue. Mike Rose, which is a soccer complex not that far away, does a very good job of bringing soccer tournaments, lots of revenue to that location. I'd love to have on our real estate, on our Germantown real estate, a baseball complex that's very high-end.
Like the one in Millington, isn't there one?
Well, there's one like that, Snowden Grove down in Mississippi, one in Cordova called Game Day.
Right.
Bring a very nice, baseball is a tremendous revenue driver in our city, and there's year-round tournaments that can be held for baseball, and we would really have a tremendous, I think, an opportunity to bring revenue to our city through baseball tournaments. That's just another off the cuff idea.
Well, it sounds like you've done a lot of thinking about these things and very concerned with all of it. And our time is up.
Wow.
Wow. It just flies by. Yes.
Very good.
And I'd like to thank David for taking the time out of his day to be on the show and sharing his vision for Germantown and the Board of Aldermen, Position 5. I hope these interviews were informative and help you, the viewer, make an informed decision when voting in the election this fall. Thanks for watching.